Hey guys, Bird Yugioh here, coming at you with another deck profile. This time it's going to be Oddeyes Magicians, as requested down in the comments a few videos ago. So yeah, I definitely try to remember what you guys want to see and get it to you as soon as I can. This is more of a budget take on it. It is kind of a budget deck anyway. A lot of this stuff has been reprinted and whatnot, so it's not too expensive. Let's get right into it. Before I start, make sure you guys subscribe. I got something really cool planned for the 200 subscriber. It's going to be multiple deck profiles in one, so it's going to be really cool. So yeah, make sure, let your friends know about this channel. Try to get to 200 as soon as we can. So to start with, for the Oddeyes part of this deck, Oddeyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. It's the heart and soul of the actual Oddeyes engine. It's an amazing card. Doesn't have a monster effect, but its pendulum effect is if an Oddeyes card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Oddeyes monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So it even like reuses some of the cards that are destroyed and whatnot that end up in the graveyard. So it's a really good card, really good high scale. It's a level 7. It's perfect. High attack, amazing card. And the card you're most of the time, or sometimes, going to be wanting to be special summoning off of his effect is Oddeyes Persona. Basically gets you a monster negate. So once per turn, you can target one face-up monster on the field that was special summoned from the extra deck, and it has its effects negated until the end of the turn. So if you know you're playing against a deck that goes to the extra deck a lot, this card is definitely one you want to end your board on. And then now for the other kind of generic Oddeyes stuff. I actually played 2 Oddeyes Pendulum Dragon. He's really good in the battle phase because his battle damage is doubled. But he was also going to get you a search in the end phase. He's a good kind of lower scale. They're 4, so we play Magicians also, so sometimes these lower, the 4s in the scale aren't as helpful, but it's still good to have. That search is really nice too. One Oddeyes Phantom. Basically, when an attack is declared, his pendulum effect involving your face-up monster and opponent's monster. If you have a card in Oddeyes in your other pendulum zone, you can make that monster you control gain 1200 attack, so it's another battle phase 1. And then also, if when this pendulum summon card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by attacking, you can inflict damage equal to the number of Oddeyes in your pendulum zones times 1200. So it's just good for some extra damage. Is basically all he's there for. He has another level 7 Oddeyes, so that'll come up later. Also play 1 Oddeyes Mirage Dragon. He's another good high scale. During either player's turn, his monster effect is the more pertinent one. While an Oddeyes card in your pendulum zone, you can target one Oddeyes you control. The first time it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, it is not destroyed. So it's a good little protection card. And then the last Oddeyes monster we play is Performapal Oddeyes Dissolver. He's basically your way of easily getting into Oddeyes Vortex. We basically have a lot of ways of getting to Oddeyes Vortex. It's an amazing card, so we want to get to him as quickly as we can or as easily as we can. And Dissolver is one way of doing that. Very searchable too. Now for the Magicians, play the best one that you always want to be pendulum summoning is Harmonizing. When it's special summon from your hand, or pendulum summon from the hand, you can special summon one Magician from your deck in defense position. So basically any of your Magicians. 2 Wisdom Eye. It clashes a little bit with Pendulum Call, but we still really like it because you either want to see this or Pendulum Call. But this is basically just going to, if you have a Magician or a Performapal card in your other Pendulum Zone, you destroy this card and place one Magician from your deck, one Magician Pendulum, into the scale. So it's your way of basically putting whatever card you need in scale. He becomes any of your magicians, basically, in the scale. Oath Dragon, I've always gone back and forth playing him at 1 or 2. He's really good because he's going to be, if you have a magician in your other pendulum zone, you can add 1 face-up magician or Oddeyes from your extra deck to your hand. So once one of them gets destroyed on the field and goes to the extra deck, then you can then use his effect to add it back to hand. So he's really good in Oddeyes and magicians. Really, really good. And then just kind of the generic ones, I like 1 purple poison, 1 black fang. Purple poison kind of gets rid of a lot of problem cards, so I might even throw an extra one of him in the side. Because when he is destroyed, you can just target 1 face-up card in the field and destroy it. So it gets rid of problem cards. Black Fang, when he's destroyed, you can target 1 dark spellcaster in your graveyard and special summon it. Dragon Pit, he's a level 7, and he's really good. He's a good high scale, and he's good just for getting, you just discard a pendulum monster and target 1 spell or trap on the field and destroy it. So it comes up a lot. And then I still play the janky magician. I just like his high attack. He's still level 7. Dark spellcaster, so you can special summon him with Black Fang. I just like him. You know, this is kind of a beater deck. If you don't go into your extra deck, you can pretty much end up with a lot of high attack monsters on the board generally. And then kind of just our generic pendulum stuff. Darkworm and Gate 0. We play the LP, the Guard Dragon package still. So Darkworm is kind of a necessity, and it's just a really good turbo card if you can get it to the grave and then special summon it. It's really, really helps you out a lot. Another kind of turbo Electromite card per se is Chronograph. It also is going to be able to special summon some of your Oddeyes cards in hand. Chronograph is just really good. Then the Time Gazer to special summon off a Chronograph. And the only other kind of like extender we play is Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. I didn't play the Mythical Beast just because right now Master Cerberus is a little expensive. The Jackal Kings are pretty cheap. You can get those, the super rares, for pretty dang cheap. But I kind of left them out. You can play them if you have them. They are really good. But I left them out of this deck profile. So Curtain Raiser, it's a good. Heck, if you're playing against like Inspector Border, your opponent just ends on that, you can out it with Curtain Raiser with its own effect. Because if this is the only, if you control no other monsters, this card gains 1100 attack. So it's going to be at 22 when you special summon this, and then you can get rid of Inspector Border, hopefully, and then go into your other plays if you need to. So it's a good out to kind of floodgate monsters that your opponent's playing, as long as they're not too high of attack. Last monster we're playing is Sloth. Since we're playing LP, this is going to be one of your best things to end on. I would suggest siding in Aether or some other kind of really good card for going second, because Sloth is really good for going first, but not so much going second. So if you know you're going second, I would side this out for like an Aether or another card that will mess up your opponent, basically. So that is it for the monsters. The spells, one of the most important ones for the Oddeyes engine at least, is going to be Spiral Flame Strike. It's not once per turn, so definitely play it at 3. It's got 2 effects. If you control an Oddeyes card, you can target 1 card in the field and destroy it, so good destruction. But it also, you add to your hand 1 level 7 Oddeyes monster from your deck, or 1 face-up level 7 Oddeyes Pendulum from your extra deck. So it's going to be searching you pretty much whatever you need. The main one being Oddeyes Arc Pendulum. You're going to be searching that. And in this deck, we have a lot of ways of searching our Oddeyes cards in particular. Sky Iris is another one. It's also really, really good protection for your magicians and Oddeyes and your performable cards, they cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effect while they're in the pendulum zones. So it's going to be protecting your pendulum zones. And then you can target one other face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, you add one Oddeyes from your deck to your hand. Really, really good. We want to search that out with Terraforming. Really, really good card. And then I play, for the Magician kind of engine, 3 Pendulum Call. You can discard a Pendulum Call to activate a Pendulum Call, so I'd rather see this, 2 in my hand. Hopefully you have other cards, but it's going to be searching you 2 Magicians. Really good. And then your Magician cards in your Pendulum Zone cannot be destroyed by card effects, so it's again protection. Duelist Alliance. It searches out a lot more than you think, because it's going to be, if there's a card in the Pendulum Zone, you can add one Pendulum Monster or Pendulum Spell or Trap. So you can search out Pendulum Call. You can search out your Oddeyes Pendulum Dragon, and then your Oddeyes Arc Pendulum Dragon is also searchable off of Duelist Alliance. So Duelist Alliance becomes even better in this deck because you can just search so much. The last spell cards you play are 2 Dragon Shine and 1 Foolish Burial. That's just to kind of turbo out the Dark Worm, because it is such it's a really good starter card, so you want to get it to the grave as quickly and easily as you can. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. I believe it's 48. Doesn't really matter too much in the Pendulum deck, because I've said it before in a Pendulum video, but you have so many engines in here and just so many usable cards that being over 40 is not a problem at all. Extra deck. Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. I wouldn't say it's the most important card in the extra deck. I would probably say that's Oddeyes Vortex. But it is amazing in any Pendulum deck. Electromite gets you whatever card you need, and gives you some draw power as well. If you somehow can't use it, or it's already in the grave and you need 2 arrows pointing down, Land for Hinkus is really good. Just requires 2 monsters, and it just gets you 2 downward pointing arrows. And then the Guard Dragon combo cards we play, LP, of course, he's going to be special summoning your Sloth most of the time. Triple Burst, and then Hieratic Seal. It's basically just a really good interruption on your opponent's turn. Also play Zephyr Metaltron. Easy way of getting, it would play Oddeyes Absolute, so easy way of getting him off the field is having him and like Electromite, say. Then you could take these 2 and go into Metaltron, and then you'll get Oddeyes Absolute's effect off. So Metaltron is really good. 1-star Yugioh. It's not as easy to make in this Pendulum version, but it's still easy enough to make, and you can still go into it when you're under your Guard Dragon lock, where you can only summon Dragon type. So Yugioh is really good, and also Borreload. Very good dragon. That's the links. Our rank 7 Xyz, one of them, Big Eye for going second. It's so easy to make level 7s in this deck, in this particular build, or sorry, rank 7s, because we have a lot of Magicians that are level 7, plus almost all of our Oddeyes cards are level 7 as well. So making this going second is pretty good. Going first, you're usually going to want to be making Absolute, so that you have an easy way of going into Vortex, and Vortex just getting you and really negate anything. And then level 7 or level 8 synchros are kind of easy to make with the Magicians, because harmonizing is a 4. So going first, we usually want to make Omega. And then going second, you can make it Gnister, to kind of just non-destructive, non-targeting. You just shuffle one card into the deck, so really good. And then just a couple of rank 4s because they're again pretty easy to make with the Magicians, Abyss Dweller and Dugaris. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. It's you know, there's really nothing too pricey. So it's a really good budget deck, budget version of, you know, like a pendulum deck. Oddeyes Magicians are really fun to play. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. Again, subscribe. I got some really cool stuff coming up. We want to get to 200 subscribers, and I got, like I said, cool idea coming up when we get to 200 subscribers. Should be a good time. Catch you guys in the next one.